Thank you for joining me again for another night of Facebook Live. I also want to take time to recognize those that catch me on the replay from YouTube and or SoundCloud. It is indeed a blessing to be here with you tonight. I am your host, Tricia Bray Smith, author, educator, and public speaker. Tonight, we're just going to have just a short conversation here. I call it updates and follow-ups. Updates and follow-ups. That's what I call it. No specific topic indeed that I want to address. Just want to share with you some of the things that I have coming up and some of the things that are on my mind and possibly on your mind as well, guys. So, as you are logging on with me tonight, please take time to like and share this video. Please take time to like and share this video as you log on with me. Also, don't hesitate to leave me a comment. Let me know that you're there. Say hello. Reach out to me. Or if you have a question, leave me a question there in the comment section. What I provided for you in the comment section tonight is a link to my website. Feel free to check that website frequently for updated information and direct access to resources and books, events and courses and other things that I have available for you from day to day. Today I just wanted to check in with you guys to see how well you did with the butt challenge. I am interested in knowing how well you guys did with the butt challenge. Remember last night we talked about your butt is in the way. It is the butts in our life that keeps us stagnated, it keeps us from moving forward, and it keeps us unproductive in our life. So I challenged you for the next 24 hours to eliminate the buts from your conversation. So I'm interested in knowing how well you guys did with that as well. So I want to come back here in a bit and check in with you just to see how well you've done. But just as some things that I also want to share, because I don't share it very often, is the 3 books that I have available in paperback as of today. I have 3 books available in paperback. I have a 4th one that will be available probably on tomorrow in paperback. So I have completed as of this morning my 4th book. So I am using my time throughout this pandemic wisely. I do spend a lot of time at the computer and staying busy and getting mentorship and just learning all I can while I can, so that we can keep progressing a little bit further. So my latest book that I have just received in paperback is Struggling to Forgive. It is my latest book. It's not a very long read, but I think that if you struggle in the areas of forgiveness, it is a very necessary read for you. So if you haven't already got a copy of this book, but you know that a book like this can benefit you because you have difficulties in the area of forgiveness and you're struggling with things, or maybe you have a teenager, or maybe you have someone in your family that you know has issues in the area of forgiveness, and something that they can engage in and go through the process of learning those steps on how to forgive, this would be a great resource or a great gift for them. So like I said, the link to my website is there in the comment section. All you have to do is go to my website. You can find all of my books and resources there. But these books are also available on Amazon. Now, some people I know buy books directly from me, and that's okay too, but I don't keep a whole lot on hand with me. I just keep a select number at a time, so to make sure that you can get your book and have it delivered directly to you it's a good idea to purchase that book directly from Amazon if possible. Also, my book, Time to Talk. And I haven't talked a lot about Time to Talk, but this is a really good resource for parents. So any parents that have kids that are entering into sixth grade all the way up to 12th grade, just one chapter in this book alone is going to be very beneficial for you. So this also makes a great gift to that parent in your life, that single parent, or just someone that you know that could enjoy a great read. Now, also in this book, I did something different with this book. It's a lot of different things in this book. Women, if you are listening to me and you are age 55 and older, and you're listening to me, if you don't have a copy of this book, you really need to get a copy. And I tell you why you need a copy of this book. Because this book is going to give you some information that is going to be necessary for you to know as you are aging. Okay, it has to do with financially getting yourself set up. It also has to do with, especially if you are one who is a business owner, if you are one who owns your own house and real estate and things of that nature. This book, I can't tell you how important it is for you to have. Now, yes, it's time to talk, and yes, I started out talking about leadership and finances and religion and things of that sort, but there is some hidden gems in the content of this book. And if you don't get this book, just to have it on hand, to flip through, to get the information that is set here for you, then you are going to miss out. Hey, Brittany, mom loves Time to Talk. Yes, I tell you what, I didn't know what I was doing with this one, but I tell you what, I did it. And the secrets that you need to know to set your family off on a good course, it is in there. And also, guys, a lot of my thoughts as it relates to leadership and religion, it's in there. Because, you know, sometimes we think some way for so long and we just think that we're right, and until we're exposed to something different. This book, it really challenges you to think for yourself, and it also causes you to take a good long look at where you're at on your path to legacy and setting your life and making sure your business is in order. So if you don't have that book, let me just suggest for you again. And Brittany, I'm glad Ruby loves that book, because, you know, when I write these books, I write them with you guys in mind. You know, I sit here day in, day out. I'm streaming through social media, and I see beyond the post and the different things that are going on. And I write these books with you guys in mind. And so, last but not least, one that I have on hand is the first book that I put out, Recreating a Better Me. And this is all about taking your mindset and shifting it, and really helping you dig in and address the areas in your life that you may struggle with. And the thing with this book, it's set up like a workbook. Yes, you read about some of my experiences and stuff in this book, but what this book does is also guide you in addressing and being aware and identifying your own issues. So if you don't have this book, this is a good book to keep in your library. The great thing about my books is that you don't have to read it from chapter 1 to the end chapters. My books are set up to where, you know, they're not building on any storyline. It's whatever your issue is, you tackle that chapter first and then be able to work according to however you need to for you. Now, the book that I just finished this morning is Business Sense and Branding, and it has to do with the webinar that I'm doing tomorrow. Now, I decided to do this webinar because I know that because of the pandemic and things opening and closing, many of us are having to make some shifts in our business. Many of us are small business owners. And so I see a lot of the new and small business owners struggling in a lot of areas to really understand how to make this shift in the pandemic. So I wanted to bring a webinar and to provide some resources for you guys. Hey, Demetrius, how are you, baby? Awesome book. I have to purchase the other one. Yeah, I have a few of the other ones here, but I don't have many of them here. But they are some great books. And you know, the first one I really didn't know a whole lot about writing, but you know, as time goes on, you know, we learn. And I was just telling the listeners that, you know, I just write these books with you guys on my mind. You guys are on my mind when I write these books, so I want to give you content and information that is important to you and things that you can benefit from. So as a result of that, I finished another book this morning, Business Sense and Branding. And what that is a workbook, and it's going to go along with the content that I'm going to be sharing with those that have registered for my webinar tomorrow. So I have a free class tomorrow that I'm offering for new business owners, and so I'm looking forward to being with you and sharing with you, and hopefully setting you on the path to be able to move forward in your business. Now, I can only share with you as much as I know, but I can delegate referrals and resources to you that can help you advance in those areas where you may want a little more assistance. So I'm looking forward to that. Looking forward to those that have signed up to be with me. I think that you're going to benefit greatly from that webinar tomorrow. So updates and follow-ups is what I'm doing. I challenged you guys last night to eliminate the butts for the next 24 hours, and I want to know how well you done. So if you're listening to me right now and you accepted my challenge for eliminating the butts from your conversation for the past 24 hours, leave a comment in the comment section and tell me how well you did. And I know that sometimes because we are so accustomed to talking a certain way and making certain excuses, you know, I challenge you not to make those excuses. Just let your words be whatever it is. So if you eliminated the buts from your conversations today and you were able to do that for the past 24 hours, I want to hear about it. I would like to hear about it, guys. So also, guys, something that disturbed me today that I saw going through social media was what was called a protest, but the question I had was who was leading that protest. It was there in the Paris, Texas area, there on the main street, and it looked like it was right there coming into Paris on the strip by the Chevy car lot there on the main strip. I would like to know who was leading that movement, because what we call protests, or what we perceive as protests, could have been a totally different situation from what I could see. And this goes from people sitting in the middle of the road and kids being out there and unattended and things like that, guys. I've shared with you many times. All right, Brittany, I'm going to hold you to it. If you're going to accept the butt challenge for the next 24 hours, I'm going to hold you to it. And I want you to come back tomorrow and give me an update on how well you were able to do. Because butts leave us making excuses. It leave us stagnated. It leave us not being productive at all. So when we are saying something and then we say the word but cancels out everything that we said previously, and it leaves us with the excuse that comes after. Karen says, I survived. I had to bite my tongue a couple of times. Karen, that's all right, baby. Sometimes we have to. But I'm glad you accepted the challenge, and I am glad that you were able to meet and excel in that challenge. So if we could just practice that, guys, it would make things in our life so much better. Not making excuses and letting our words be whatever they are and standing on that. So again, with the movement or whatever it was that was going on in the Paris, Texas area of Main Street there, guys, let me just encourage you. And let me say this, you can entertain yourself with whatever you want to entertain yourself with. But I always say, don't follow someone so closely that when they stumble and fall or make a mistake, you stumble and fall and make mistakes right behind them. And it is important that whoever leads you in whatever movement it is, that you know what the purpose of them leading you is for. You know their vision, you understand it, you understand what their philosophy is, they're sharing it with you, and you know what you hope to, what you hope the outcome of that should be. So don't just follow somebody and go along with something because it sounds good. Because poor leadership results in really us just following along, and it really looks like the blind leading the blind. Blind leading the blind. And it shows up in everything we do. And to me, that movement, whatever it was, I don't call it a protest. I think it was so disorganized and so poorly sought out. And whatever the intention was, you know, it just was not a good look. I'm on the outside looking in, and it was not a good look. And I think that potentially it could put a lot of people in danger, a lot of kids. And I just don't think that it was organized very good. So if you're involved in that movement, if you're a part of that, if you happen to see it on social media streaming, because someone sent it to my message, private message, and I looked at it a few minutes, and guys, that's not what we do. So if you're going to follow leadership, if you believe that you have a voice, that you're wanting to be heard, please, by all means, make sure you do the research. Make sure who you decide to follow. Make sure they're sharing with you what their vision is, and that they can share with you what it looks like. Because no leader whatsoever wants to lead a movement and then have it themselves lose control of what that movement looks like. So let's be smart. Don't just follow people. We don't follow people. We are students of learning. And so we're there to learn and to be persuaded by our own minds. So we don't just follow the crowd because it looks good or sounds good, or we're being nosy. Because at the end of the day, when we have a situation that looks like that, what I seen with my eyes, uh, I don't know. It just wasn't clear. So guys, whatever movement you're following, be clear on that. Other updates is that voting is this week. Voting is this week for you guys that are in Oklahoma, especially in my little community. We talked about the importance of voting and talked about you getting registered to vote and things of that nature. So that's something you may want to consider, is making sure that you're prepared to vote on Tuesday. And some of you I know have did the early voting, and that's good. And some of you are waiting on Tuesday's vote. But whatever the case, go vote and be heard. That's a good way to have your voice heard. Also, guys, we talked about the schools getting ready to open up. But what I've seen on the news tonight, the 9 o'clock, is that many of the schools that have begun to open up and allow our kids to come back and practice with the sports and different things like that. That now, because the cases of COVID has gone up so rapidly, that they're having to bring it to a halt again, guys. And I know that we talked about this. These things are going to happen, but they're going to happen at the expense of our children. They're going to happen with our kids being on the front line of this pandemic, and the numbers are not going to get any better because we didn't take heed to the first warning, and so things are just going to get worse before they get better. So be careful if you're allowing your kid to go out and practice and be involved in these sports and things like that, because not only are you putting your child at risk, but the child in return is going to bring whatever back that they've been exposed to back home to you and other children and things like that within the home. So guys, just be wise. And the question that I came up with, I was talking to my husband, and the question of why came up. Why are we doing this? Why are we sacrificing our lives for a sport, or just so many things. And the reason is that when we look at it, these places that we love to go and the things that we love to entertain ourselves with, they have become gods to us. They have become gods to us. And so not only that, there's so much of a God that it brings in streams of income. It brings in streams of revenue for these institutions and these facilities. So when you look at sports, sports is one of the things that our schools and things like that use to draw in revenue to support things that go on in our schools. So it is a God, and it took me a long time to realize that. I was just a fan of basketball, just a fan of track, and just a fan of so many sports related things, that it was to the point to where I was drawn in and consumed by that. And when you really look at it, we're controlled by the things that we give our time to. We're controlled by the things that we give our money to. And those are things that people love to do. They're drawn in by it. And people are ready to get back to that type of entertainment because it draws in revenue. So whether it's they're feeding us at the concession stands, whether they're getting our money at the door, whatever it is, that money is power. That green bill holds a whole lot of power, and people are ready to get your money. They're ready to get your money. So that's the why. At the end of it all, when we question why is this going on or why is this happening, at the end of the day, it's because of the power that that dollar bill has. So let's not rush it too quick. Let's be wise in all the decisions we make, and um, let's be supportive and help, encourage, and lift one another up. So those are the only updates and follow-ups that I have. I appreciate you guys that accepted the challenge to eliminate the butts. Brittany, I'm going to hold you accountable for the next 24 hours to eliminate the butts. Just stand on your word, guys. Our word is all we have. And if we can't stand on our word and commit to whatever it is that we say, then is it really worth saying at that point? So, yeah, let's do that. Let's stop making excuses. Let's get productive, and let's continue to wrap our arms around one another. I love you guys. I appreciate you guys being here with me tonight. Don't forget, if you have a question or a comment, leave it there in the comment section. I'll be glad to come back and address it with you after I'm gone off of air. Nonetheless, I'll see you back here again tomorrow night, 10 p.m. I'll also see you guys that have registered for my webinar tomorrow from 5 to 7. I'll see you then. I'll be sending you the links to that course here shortly. So I look forward to seeing you tomorrow at 5. Nonetheless, guys, I appreciate you being here. I am your host, Tricia Bray Smith, author, educator, and public speaker. We'll see you tomorrow.